I never thought the words from my own flesh and blood could slice deeper than a switchblade in a South Side alley fight. Dad. Life would be so much easier if you just weren't around. Emma spat, her voice a venomous whisper that echoed off our peeling kitchen walls like a death sentence. In that split-second heartbeat, I grabbed the kitchen knife, not to hurt her. God, no. But to carve out the lie we'd both been living for 15 years. Starting with the truth about her mother that I'd buried deeper than the body of the man she'd killed. The rain hammered Chicago's rooftops like it was trying to wash away the sins of the city. But nothing could clean the rot I'd let fester in my own home. It was a Tuesday night in late October. The kind where the wind off Lake Michigan carries the chill of forgotten promises. And I was staring at the eviction notice taped to our fridge door, reading screaming, final warning, like a bad tattoo you regret in the morning. Emma slammed her backpack on the counter, her cheerleader skirt still crisp from practice, eyes blazing with that teenage fire that burns everything in its path. She turned 16 last month, and I swear, every candle on that cake had been a countdown to this explosion. You don't get it,
Dad, she said,
voice cracking like thin ice under boots. Mom was right about you. You're the reason we're always one step from the gutter. The endless jobs, the crappy apartments, the way you look at me like I'm some kind of consolation prize for the family you wrecked. She leaned in, close enough I could smell the strawberry gum on her breath mixed with a faint tang of rebellion. Life would be so much easier if you just weren't around. Those words hit like a .45 slug to the chest, point blank.
No merci.
I'd raised her alone since she was a toddler, scraping by on warehouse gigs and night shifts at the auto plant, all while swallowing the bile of the secret that had chained me to this half-life. Her mother, Lila, my high school sweetheart turned nightmare, hadn't just left us. She'd torched everything. But I'd covered for her. I'd taken the fall.
And now,
hearing Emma echo the venom I'd thought was long buried, something snapped. Not rage. Not yet.
Clarity.
The kind that comes when you realize the noose around your neck was tied by the people you loved most. I didn't yell back. Didn't beg or apologize like I always did. Instead, I turned to the junk drawer, the one stuffed with takeout menus, loose change, and that old paring knife with the chipped handle. My hand closed around it, steady as a surgeon's, and before Emma could blink, I plunged the blade into the stack of mail beside the sink, not slashing wild, but deliberate, slicing through the eviction notice, the utility bills, the faded Polaroid of us three smiling at the Lincoln Park Zoo back when lies were still fun disguises. Paper fluttered to the floor like confetti from a funeral, and Emma's mouth hung open, her defiance cracking into something raw. Fear. Maybe. Or the first flicker of seeing me as more than the doormat dad. What the hell? Dad, she whispered, backing up a step, her phone halfway out of her pocket like she was debating a 911 call. I met her eyes, the knife still in my grip.
Point down on the counter now.
You want easier?
Kid?
Fine. But first, you need the truth. The one I've been choking on since the night your mom put a bullet in Uncle Ray's skull and I lied to the cops to keep her pretty ass out of Cook County Jail. Her face drained of color, the kitchen light buzzing overhead like a swarm of angry hornets. That was the hook, the first one. The second came when she bolted for the door, rain-soaked sneakers squeaking on linoleum. And I let her go, watching from the window as she sprinted to the bus stop 2 blocks down, her ponytail whipping like a flag of surrender. I could have chased her, dragged her back, played the protective father card one more time.
But no.
That night, I made the call I'd avoided for a decade, to Detective Harlan Voss, the grizzled badge who'd bought my bullshit story all those years ago. "Voss," I said when he picked up, voice steady as the L train rumbling past outside. "It's Peyton Whitaker. Time to unbury the dead." The Third Hook? By dawn. With Emma crashing at her best friend's place and the city waking to another gray slog of a day, I wasn't just confessing. I was plotting. Revenge isn't a lightning bolt, it's a slow fuse, lit in the quiet hours when the world's still snoring. And mine? It started with a single step, digging up the evidence I'd hidden in a storage unit on the edge of Pilsen, the kind of place where artists and ghosts share warehouse space. A duffel bag of cash, dirty money Ray had skimmed from Lila's side hustle at the casino, and the .38 revolver, wiped clean but still whispering her guilt in the scratches on its barrel. One step. Yeah. But it changed everything. The storage unit smelled like damp concrete and regret, the kind that clings to your clothes long after you leave. I'd rented it under a fake name, Peyton Jack Harlan, a nod to the detective and my old man, back when Lila first bolted after the shooting. 15 years ago. We were young and stupid in this same city, chasing the American dream through the neon haze of Rush Street bars and the promise of quick cash. Lila waitressed at the Horseshoe Casino downtown, all curves and charm, turning heads and emptying pockets. I was a mechanic at a chop shop in Little Village, fixing rides for lowlifes who paid in whispers and warnings. We met at a block party on the 4th. Her laughing over stolen fireworks, me nursing a bruised knuckle from a joyride gone south. Love like that? It's fireworks. All right, bright,
Loud.
and bound to leave scorch marks. Ray was her brother, my reluctant brother-in-law, a slick operator who ran side games for the casino's underbelly. He was the one who roped Lila into the skim, teaching her how to palm chips and fudge the logs, turning honest tips into a river of untaxed green. "Family sticks together," he'd say, slapping my back too hard, his eyes always darting like he expected the feds to crash the cookout. I stayed clean, mostly fixed their cars, kept my mouth shut, until the night it all imploded. It was a humid July evening, the air thick as regret, and we'd piled into Ray's beat-up Impala for a family meeting at his flop in Englewood. Emma was just a bump under Lila's sundress then, kicking like she knew trouble was brewing. Ray had crossed the wrong whale, a connected bookie from the west side, and the skim had ballooned into something uglier. Threats, shakedowns, a duffel of cash that felt heavier than sin. "We gotta disappear the evidence," Ray hissed, pacing the threadbare carpet, sweat beading on his forehead like dew on a grave marker. Lila nodded, her hand on her belly, but her eyes, those sharp, calculating eyes, were already elsewhere. I stepped out for smokes, leaving them to hash it. When I came back, the pop of the .38 was still echoing in my skull, a single cough that smelled of cordite and betrayal. Ray slumped on the couch, a neat hole in his temple, blood pooling slow like spilled wine. Lila stood there, gun smoking in her manicured hand, face pale but composed, like she'd just finished a tough mani-pedi. "He was gonna rat us out. Pay," she said, voice flat as the Midwest prairie. "The bookie's coming, and if they find the cash, we're all done."
You. Me.
The baby. I didn't think. Just acted. Wrapped Ray in trash bags. Drove his ass to a quarry off I-55 where the water ran black and bottomless. Dumped him with the duffel chained to his ankle, the splash barely registering over the crickets. Back home, I cleaned the scene, lied to the cops when they came sniffing, said Ray skipped town with a dancer from the Gold Rush Lounge. Voss bought it. He was green then. More interested in donuts than due diligence. Lila? She played the grieving sister to perfection. Tears on cue. Then packed a bag. 3 weeks later. Right after Emma drew her first breath in a hospital room that reeked of bleach and broken vase. I can't do this, Trap. Pay, she whispered, kissing the baby's forehead. You take the heat if it comes back. I'll send money. She didn't. Not a dime. That was the betrayal that gutted me. Deep. Surgical. Leaving me hollowed out and raising Emma on ramen and resentment. I'd taken the fall without a trial. The secret a lead weight in my gut. Turning every hug from my girl into a reminder of the lie. Fast forward to now. 42. Broke. And staring down the barrel of single dad apocalypse. Emma's words from last night replayed on loop as I unzipped the duffel in that storage unit. The cash mildewed but intact 50s bundled tight. Enough to buy a fresh start or bury a body. The revolver gleamed dully under the fluorescent buzz. A relic of the woman who'd birthed my daughter and then ghosted us both. My phone buzzed. Voss. Whitaker. You son of a bitch. 15 years. And you call me at 3 a.m.? This better be good. It's resurrection time. Detective, I said, pocketing a stack of bills. Meet me at the old spot. The diner on Halstead. And bring your notepad. The truth's got teeth. We met at Mel's. A greasy spoon unchanged since Reagan. Where the coffee's black as a cop's soul and the booths hide more confessions than a priest's kneeler. Voss slid in across from me. Gray hair thinning. Gut straining his polyester blues. But those eyes, sharp as ever. Spill it.
Pay.
You sound like a man with a noose fantasy. I laid it out, the skim, the shot, the quarry splash. His face didn't crack. Just hardened like cooling lava.
Jesus. Kid.
You covered for her? Lila Whitaker? That viper skipped a warrant for fraud last I checked. She's holed up in Vegas now. Or so the wire says. Vegas. Of course. Where the house always wins. And the ghosts come cheap. Emma knows nothing, I said, stirring sugar into my mug till it dissolved like my illusions. But she's parroting her mom's poison. Called me dead, wait last night. I need to end this.
Voss.
For real. He leaned back, lighting a smoke despite the no-smoking sign. Old habits die screaming. Ending it means dredging the quarry. IDs on Ray. Accessory charges on you. And her? Manslaughter, at least. If the statute hasn't limped away. You sure you want that Pandora's box kicked? Did I? Emma's face flashed, defiant. Beautiful. So much like Lila it hurt. But the knife slice of her words lingered. One step. Detective. Just one. Find her. Bring her back. He nodded. Slow. Like he was measuring the grave we'd all dig. All right. But this ain't TV.
Pay.
Truth like that? It bites back. I left the diner with the sun clawing over the skyline. The city stirring to its chaotic rhythm, horns blaring. Vendors hawking tamales from carts. The eternal hustle that chews up dreamers and spits out husks. Back home. The apartment was a tomb. Emma's room empty. Her cheer trophies mocking from the shelf. I showered off the storage unit grime. The hot water scalding like penance. And by noon, I'd quit the warehouse job via a terse email, 13 years. Gone in a keystroke. Freedom tasted like bile. But it was mine. That afternoon, I hit the libraries, public ones, the kind with free Wi-Fi and forgotten corners, digging digital trails on Lila. Social media ghosts, a LinkedIn profile touting hospitality consultant in Sin City. A burner Instagram with filtered selfies and vague inspo quotes about rising from ashes. No direct hits. But the pattern screamed her. Flashy. Fleeting. Always one con ahead. A reverse search on an old email led to a P.O. box in Henderson, Nevada, suburban sprawl for the semi-legit. Voss texted coordinates by evening. She's got a mark. High roller named Victor Kane. Connected. Watch your ass. Victor Kane. The name rang like a bad check. I'd heard whispers back in the day, bookie turned developer. The kind who built condos on cleared lots and cleared rivals with equal efficiency. If Lila was cozy with him, my one step had just tripped a wire. But retreat?
Nah.
I'd buried a man for her. Unburying the truth was small potatoes. Night fell heavy, the apartment closing in like a vice. Emma texted, staying at Jess's. Don't wait up.
No apology.
Just absence. I paced the living room, the revolver heavy in my jacket pocket, a talisman against the what-ifs. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of quarry water bubbling with Ray's accusations. Lila's laugh echoing like shattered glass. By morning, I'd booked a red-eye to Vegas, cash from the duffel. Anonymous as sin. One step east. Toward the neon inferno where betrayals bloom eternal. The plane touched down at McCarran just as the strip ignited, a garish vein pulsing with desperate hope. I rented a beater Ford from some off-brand lot, the AC wheezing like an asthmatic mark, and drove straight to Henderson, cookie-cutter McMansions baking under the desert sun, the kind of place where secrets hide behind sprinklers and SUVs. Voss had emailed an address, 1427 Sagebrush Lane. A stucco two-story with a 3-car garage and Lila's touch, floral curtains fluttering like false flags. I parked a block down. Engine off. Sweat beading despite the blast of heat. Through binoculars from a pawn shop score, I watched her silhouette in the kitchen window, pouring wine, laughing at something off-frame. Victor? Broad shoulders, salt and pepper hair. The build of a man who lifts weights and egos with the same grip. They moved easy, intimate, her hand on his arm, his kiss on her neck. 15 years vanished in that glance. She looked 30, not pushing 40. Botox and blackjack keeping time at bay. Rage simmered, not boiled. This wasn't movie revenge, no car chases. No monologues. Just me, the ghost from her past, ready to knock. But as I stepped out, phone buzzed, Emma.
Dad.
Where are you? Jess's mom called the school. We need to talk.
Shit.
The fuse burned faster now. I texted back. Business trip. Home soon. Love you.
Lies.
Always lies. But the truth? It was circling. Vultures over roadkill. I approached the house slow. Heart thumping like bass from a passing lowrider. The doorbell chimed some cheesy melody. Probably Victor's pick. Nouveau riche bullshit. Footsteps. Then the door cracked. Lila, in yoga pants and a tank that hugged her like a second skin. Eyes widening from confusion to ice in a blink. Peyton, she breathed, glancing over her shoulder. What the fuck are you doing here? Miss me, darlin'? I said, voice low. The revolver's weight a secret anchor in my pocket. Or just the life you left in the dust. She didn't scream. Didn't slam the door. Just stepped aside. A predator sizing up prey. Get in. Before the neighbors peep. Inside. It smelled of lavender candles and old money, marble counters. Abstract art that screamed, I arrived. Victor lounged in the den, scotch in hand, eyeing me like a stray dog at the country club. Friend of yours? Babe. Ex, she said, crisp as a bounce check. Peyton Whitaker. Emma's dad. His laugh was a bark.
The patsy.
Heard the stories.
Seat.
Drink. I declined, perching on a bar stool. The tension thick as Vegas smog. Not here for hospitality. Vic. Here for restitution. Ray's bones are calling collect from the quarry. Lila's face didn't crack, but her knuckles whitened on her glass. Ancient history.
Pay.
You let it lie for a reason. Reason's dead, I said. Emma's paying the price. You want to play house out here?
Fine.
But send the check for the life you stole. Or I unsteal it. Victor set his glass down.
Slow.
The clink echoing like a chambered round. Threats in my home? Bold. Whitaker. But dumb. I own half the strip shadows. Walk away. Or swim with Ray. The room spun hot. Adrenaline spiking. One wrong word. And this powder keg blew. But Lila, cunning Lila, stepped in. Her hand on my arm. Electric as memory.
Beak.
Baby. Let me handle this. Old flames flicker funny. He grunted, retreating to the patio. Cigar smoke trailing like a warning. Alone now. She poured me a splash, anyway. Eyes searching mine. What do you want? Really? Money? Emma? Me? Justice. I whispered. The word foreign on my tongue. You shot him. I sank him. We both drown if Voss digs. Her laugh was bitter. A Chicago echo. You think I haven't flipped the script? Ray wasn't skimming for me. He was bleeding us for his habit. I saved us.
Pay.
And you? You played hero to keep me free for Emma. Noble. Stupid. Lies layered on lies. But her touch lingered. Stirring ashes I'd thought cold. Emma hates me because of you, I said. Whispers from your burner calls. Poisoning the well. She softened. Just a fraction, mother's mask slipping. I called a check on her. You think I'd hurt my girl? The doorbell rang then, shattering the bubble. Victor's voice boomed. Delivery. But it wasn't pizza. Voss? No. Too soon. I peered through the blinds, a sleek black Escalade idling curbside. Suits spilling out Kane's muscle. Faces like carved granite. Time to go, Lila hissed. Shoving cash from a drawer into my hand, $5,000. Crisp.
Take it.
Disappear. For Emma. Betrayal's echo. Round 2. I pocketed it, but as I slipped out the back, the truth hit. She wasn't flipping to save me. She was buying time to flip on Victor. Her current mark. Cunning as ever. My phone lit up. Emma again, Dad. Mom called. Said you're in trouble. Come home.
Please.
The desert night swallowed me as I floored the rental toward the airport. The cash burning a hole. The revolver heavier than regret. One step had led here, but the path forked vicious. Expose Lila and crater Emma's world. Or swallow it again and stay the patsy. Chicago called. Rain slick and unforgiving. Home wasn't safety, it was the battlefield. The flight back was turbulence incarnate, the plane bucking like a bronco over the Rockies, mirroring the storm in my gut. $5,000 richer. A lifetime poorer. I clutched the armrest. Lila's touch phantom on my skin. Her words looping. I saved us. Bullshit. She'd saved herself. Always had. Leaving me to cradle the corpse, literal and figurative. Emma's texts piled up like accusations. Where are you? Jess says you are acting weird.
Dad.
Answer me. I type replies in fits. On my way. Everything's fine. Lies. The family currency. Wheels down at O'Hare by midnight. The terminal a fluorescent purgatory of delayed souls and overpriced pretzels. I hailed a cab. The driver a grizzled cabbie with a White Sox cap and opinions on everything from the Bears' choke to the mayor's graft. Rough night. Chief, he grunted, eyeing my rumpled jacket. Rough life, I muttered, directing him to our walk-up in Logan Square, gentrifying hood where hipsters priced out folks like us. One microbrew at a time. The rain had quit, leaving puddles like bullet craters on the sidewalks, reflecting neon signs from the taqueria next door. Up 3 flights, keys scraping the lock like nails on chalkboard. And there she was, Emma, curled on the couch in her oversized hoodie, eyes red-rimmed, takeout container congealing on the coffee table. Dad, she whispered as I dropped my bag, the weight of Vegas still clinging like cheap cologne. She unfolded, hesitant, then launched, arms around my waist, face buried in my shirt. I thought. Mom said you were in Vegas. Fighting or something. I didn't mean what I said. About easier without you. The hug cracked me open, raw as quarried stone. I held her tight, breathing in the scent of vanilla shampoo and vulnerability. The revolver forgotten in the duffel by the door. I know.
Kid.
Heat of the moment. We're good. But we weren't. Not with Lila's poison seeping back. Her call the catalyst. We talked till the sky lightened gray, halting confessions over cold pizza. Emma admitted the calls, monthly check-ins from Auntie L, spinning tales of my instability, the bad choices that drove her away. She said you kept her from us on purpose, Emma said, picking at a pepperoni, guilt etching lines too young for her face. That you were jealous, controlling. Lila, the weaver of webs. I'd shielded Emma from the dark, feeding her the sanitized version. Mommy left for a job. Sends love in postcards that never came. But the cracks showed now. Emma's slipping grades. The shoplifted lipstick from Walgreens last spring. The way she'd eye my wallet like it held escape routes. I miss her, she confessed. Voice small. But I need you more. Don't leave like she did. That vow sealed it. No more Patsy. Voss called at dawn. Voice gravel from lack of sleep. Quarry teams gearing up. DA's interested. Cold case revival. Lila's prints on file from that old fraud beef. You flying back? Already am, I said, glancing at Emma dozing on the couch. But slow it down.
Voss. Give me a week.
Need to loop in the kid without shattering her. Week's generous.
Pay.
Kane's got lawyers who eat badges for breakfast. If she's tangled with him, feds get involved. Money laundering. Maybe worse.
Worse.
The word hung. A noose tightening. I spent the day domestic, grocery run to the Jewel. Stocking up on Emma's faves, mac and cheese. Those go-doffel energy drinks. Fresh apples she pretended to hate. We cooked together. Awkward at first. Laughter bubbling as I burned the garlic bread and she doctored it with too much cheese. Normalcy. Fragile as spun glass. But under it, the plan brewed, confront Lila on neutral ground. Extract a confession clean enough for Voss. Restitution for Emma's college fund, enough to buy her out of this cycle. By evening, the duffel tempted from the hall closet, cash stacks a siren's call. I peeled off $2,000, hid an ATM for clean bills, then drove to Pilsen, old haunts, the muraled alleys where Ray used to fence knockoff Rolexes. A contact from the chop shop days, Manny the fence, met me in a taqueria backroom, steam from carnitas fogging the air. Peyton Whitaker, the ghost. What you peddling? Hot Wheels or hotter regrets? Info, I said, sliding an envelope. Victor Kane. What's his play with Lila Whitaker? Manny's eyes narrowed, toothpick rolling. Kane, the developer? He's building a casino resort off the strip, Emerald Mirage, they call it. Lila's the front. Charm the investors. Grease the palms. But word is, she's skimming again. Kane smells it, but she's got him hooked, says she's got family leverage back east. Family leverage.
Me?
Emma? The thought curdled. Leverage how?
Blackmail vibes.
Kane's got skeletons, union busts. A missing contractor from his Philly days. Lila whispers she can bury Em deeper. For a cut. Manny shrugged, pocketing the cash. Careful.
Ese. Kane's not Ray.
He doesn't dump bodies. He dissolves Em and lie. Back home. Emma was out cheer practice. The text said. I paced. The apartment closing in. Ghosts whispering from the walls. The revolver called. Cold comfort. One shot to end it?
No.
That was Lila's way. Mine would be surgical. Expose her to Kane. Let their house of cards topple. Then swoop in for the Queen's confession. Night deepened. City sounds a lullaby of sirens and bass thumps. Emma stumbled in late, giggling with Jess on speaker, reeking of cheap body spray and freedom. Night. Dad, she mumbled, pecking my cheek before vanishing to her room. I waited till her light flicked off, then dialed the burner Voss slipped me, a direct to Lila's line. It rang twice, her voice husky with sleep or scotch. Pay? This better be good. Pack your lies. Lila. I'm coming for the truth. Neutral ground. The old zoo. Lincoln Park. Noon tomorrow. Bring Emma's future. Or I bring Voss. Silence. Then her laugh sharp. Unbowed. Always the night.
Pay. Fine.
But bring your own white flag. Victor's watching.
Click.
The line went dead, but the threat lingered. I didn't sleep. Dawn broke bloody over the lake, painting the skyline in hues of warning. Emma rose groggy, scarfing cereal while I brewed coffee strong as resolve. Gonna be out today?
Kid.
Errands. Lock up. She nodded, distracted by TikTok scrolls. Love you, Dad. Simple words. A lifeline. The drive to Lincoln Park was a blur, fall leaves skittering like fleeing rats. Joggers pounding pavement oblivious to the drama unfolding in my Chevy's cab. The zoo entrance loomed, gates open to families with strollers and cotton candy dreams. I parked, revolver tucked in my waistband, insurance, not intent, and walked the paths Ray once prowled, pointing out lions to toddler Emma. She was there by the ape exhibit, bundled in a trench coat too chic for Chicago chill, sunglasses perched like a shield. No Victor, no muscle, just her, leaning on the railing, watching gorillas hoot at tourists. Peyton, she said as I approached, voice of velvet trap. Nostalgic much? Practical, I replied, stopping a gorilla's toss from her. Confess on tape. Sign the check for Emma, $50K.
Clean wire.
Voss gets an anonymous tip on Ray. We all walk. Her sunglasses dipped, eyes appraising, still that mix of fire and frost. 50? Cheap for a life. And the tape? Voss, you're playing house now. With badges. Playing father, I shot back. You poisoned her against me. Time to detox. Lila sighed. Theatrical. Pulling a slim drive from her pocket. Confessions here, audio from that night. Your voice too. Dumping Ray. Insurance.
Pay.
I kept it. In case you flipped. My blood iced. She'd recorded us? The betrayal deepened. Roots twisting. Blackmail on blackmail. Classy. Not blackmail. Balance. She stepped closer. Scent of jasmine cutting the animal musk. I left to protect you both. Kane's world? It's vipers. Not quarries. But Emma. She's mine too. Let me see her. One visit. Then the money. The tip, poof. The offer dangled. Tempting as forbidden fruit. Emma with her mom, closure. Maybe healing. But trust Lila? Like handing a lit match to an arsonist. Proof first, I said, hand inching toward the recorder in my jacket. That's when the world tilted. A black SUV rolled up to the lot. Victor's profile unmistakable behind tinted glass.
Doorflum?
He stormed the path, flanked by two goons in ill-fitting suits. Faces like kneecapped concrete. Whitaker, you got balls. Crashing my turf.
Lilaspun.
Mass cracking.
Beak.
Baby misunderstanding. He ignored her. Closing on me. Breath hot with bourbon rage. She called me. Said you threatened. Time to lesson learn. The revolver burned against my spine. Pull it? In a zoo? Kids screaming nearby? Controversy incarnate. No heroes here. I backed up. Hands raised. But his fist connected. A haymaker to the gut. Folding me like cheap lawn chair. Pain bloomed. Air whooshing out. But I twisted. Knee to his thigh. Buying seconds. Lila screamed, actor's wail or genuine, as goons piled on, one wrenching my arm, the other fishing for the gun. Enough, she yelled. Phone out. Dialing frantic. Cops incoming.
Beak.
Back off. He paused, chest heaving, eyes wild. This ain't over. Patsy. You and her both swim. They peeled out, tires screeching like banshees, leaving me gasping on mulch. Lila kneeling, hands fluttering. You okay?
Jesus. Pay.
Betrayal's flip. She called him? Or bluffed to save me? Why? I wheezed, shoving her off. To end it, she said, voice breaking for real. Victor's closing in. I need out. With you, with Emma. The light tasted familiar. But her eyes. Haunted. One step deeper into the abyss. Lincoln Park blurred into a haze of sodium lights and siren wails as I drove home. Ribs throbbing like a busted radiator. Lila's plea echoing. With you, with Emma. Madness. The kind that starts with a drink and ends in a morgue. I iced the bruise in our freezer's frostbitten depths. The apartment silent save for the fridge's hum, a dirge for sanity. Emma texted from school. Practice canceled. Home soon. Miss you. Innocent words. A bomb on the burn. But Voss's callback shattered it. SUV plates trace to Kane's Shell Corp. Assault charge? Your word against theirs. But the quarry dives tomorrow. DA wants you in holding till it shakes. Holding. Like a suspect. Not a savior. Give me 48.
Was.
Lila's cracking. I can get the confession clean. 48's pushing it.
Pay.
Feds are sniffing Kane's casino bid, Rico vibes. Your ex is ground zero.
Pause.
Then softer. Watch your 6. She's flipped more beds than pancakes. I hung up, staring at the ceiling cracks like tea leaves.
Flipped.
That's Lila, chameleon in stilettos. Loyalty as fluid as the Chicago River reversed. Back in the day, she'd charm the casino whales one shift. Then ghost M for Ray's next score.
Me?
I was the constant, the fool polishing her crown while she eyed the throne. But Emma, our tether, fragile as spider silk. She burst through the door at 4, backpack slung, cheeks flushed from the wind.
Dad.
You look like crap. What happened, muggers? Her eyes widened at the purple bloom under my shirt, maternal instinct kicking in too soon. Slipped on ice, I lied, pulling her into a side hug. Old man stuff. Pizza tonight? Your pick. She bought it. Or pretended. Chattering about cheer drama, a rival sabotaging routines, whispers of scouts at sectionals. Normal. Precious. Over extra cheese at Gino's. I probe gentle. Your mom ever talk about coming back? Like, for real? Emma's fork paused mid-bite, sauce dripping like blood. Sometimes. Says life's crazy out west, but she misses us.
Why?
She call again. Yeah, I said, casual as lake effect snow. Wants to visit. Think you'd want that. Her face lit, wary joy. A kid's hope unscarred. Really?
Like.
Meet up?
God. Dad.
Yeah. But only if you're cool. No drama. No drama. The irony choked me. Cool as cucumber.
Kid.
I'll set it. That night, I wired Voss the audio drive Lila slipped me in the scuffle, her insurance, time-stamped with my voice. Splash easy.
Babe.
Gone forever. Enough to corroborate, but damning for us both. Use it, I texted. But hold the cuffs. For Emma, his reply done. But Kane's mobilizing. Go dark. Dark it was. I pulled the duffel from hiding, cash divvied, half for Emma's 529 plan, anonymous deposit via app, seed for college. Untainted. The rest? Burner for bribes if needed. Revolver cleaned. Loaded, last resort. A devil's bargain. By midnight, Lila's texts flooded the burner, Vic's raging. Hide, Emma. I'm coming clean.
Pay. Please, family.
I deleted.
Blocked.
But the pull tugged. Traitor heart. Dawn brought the call. Kane's goons torched my Chevy in the lot below. Flames licking like accusatory tongues. PD sirens converging. Emma woke screaming from the window view. Her world fracturing anew.
Dad.
Our car. Oh God. Is this mom's fault? Half-truth. Trouble from work.
Kid.
We'll cab it. But her eyes, Lila's eyes, searched. Doubting. School drop-off was tense. Her goodbye hug lingering like farewell. Alone. I hit the streets, pawned the rental keys for bus fare. Haunted Manny's taqueria for updates. Kane spooked, he said over al pastor tacos. grease sizzling like tension. Thinks Lila's ratting to feds. He's calling in markers, West Side crews. The works. Your Zeus stunt? Painted a target.
Target. Me.
The patsy turned pariah. I slipped him another envelope. Vanished into Pilsen's labyrinth, murals of Aztec warriors watching my flight. Ironic guardians. Voss met me in a confessional booth at St.
Pious.
Ironic as hell. Quarry yielded bones. Dental matches Ray. DA's issuing warrants, Lila first. You as material witness. Witness or perp? I asked, kneading the rosary beads like worry stones. Depends on the confession. She's lawyered up in Vegas, singing Kane's praises. Flipping already, blaming you for the skim. Saying Ray was your side gig. The knife twist. Cunning bitch. Then bait her. Tell her I've got Emma stashed. Leverage for a meet. Voss's eyes narrowed. Dangerous game.
Pay.
Kids collateral. For her future, I insisted. Said it. Wrigley Field. Bleachers. Tonight's game. Crowd cover. He grunted assent, vanishing into the vestibule. I emerged into afternoon glare. The city of bees stirring, L trains rattling bones. Vendors hawking dogs like salvation. Picked up Emma from school early. Spun the yarn. Surprise Cubs outing. Hot dogs on me. Her squeal pierced the pall. Pure joy. Uncalculated. For real?
Even with the car thing.
Even with, I said, ruffling her hair. The cab to Wrigley was a bubble, her chattering lineups. Me nodding. Revolver heavy under my windbreaker. The stadium throbbed alive, blue-clad faithful chanting. Organ grinding Sweet Caroline, the air thick with popcorn and possibility. We claimed nosebleeds. High above the diamond, the city skyline a jagged promise. Halftime's seventh inning stretch she stretched too, yawning. Bathroom run.
Dad.
Save my seat. Gone 5 minutes. I scanned the crowd. Beer guts. Face paint. The American ritual. Then. Shadow in the aisle. Lila. Incognito in Cubs cap and jeans. Eyes scanning frantic. Peyton. I stood slow, blocking her path. Where's the crew? Kane's welcome too. Just me, she said, voice pitched low under the roar. Voss's bait worked, I bolted. But Vic's got eyes everywhere. The confession, it's yours. For Emma. She thrust a USB. Small as a lie. My hand closed on it, but instinct screamed trap. Why now? Flip again? Her face crumpled real. Or rehearsed, because I saw her. On the way in, laughing with you.
God. Pay.
She's us. The good parts. I can't let Kane touch that. The plea hung. Vulnerable. But then crack of bat. Cheer rising. And a glint low. Goon in the row below. Hand slipping to jacket. Victor's shadow loomed 2 sections over. Cigar glow like a fuse. Run, I hissed, shoving the USB back. Take it to Voss. End this. But she grabbed my arm, desperate. No, together. Family, family. The word ignited. I yanked free, but too late. The goon lunged. Blade flashing, not gun, but switchblade. Controversial choice in a crowd. It grazed my forearm. Hot line of fire. Blood welling dark. Shouts erupted. Fans scattering like pigeons. Emma's voice piercing. Dad. Chaos bloomed, fists flying. Me tackling the goon over seats. popcorn exploding like shrapnel. Lila screamed, dialing 911.
Victor closing fast.
His roar lost in the stampede. I pinned the attacker, knee to throat. Revolver half drawn but holstered, no shots. Not here. Not with innocence. Security swarmed, badges flashing. Voss's tip paying off as PD cuffed the muscle. Victor paused at the melee's edge, eyes locking mine, cold calculus. This flips nothing. Whitaker. She's mine. Then Lila, brave or foolish, stepped forward. Phone raised. It's over.
Beak.
Taped you confessing the Philly hit. Feds have it now. His face twisted. Rage to ruin in a heartbeat. He bolted. Swallowed by the crowd. But the damage lingered. Sirens wailing. Emma rushing up. Face ashen. Pressing a wad of napkins to my arm.
Dad. Mom.
Lila turned. Mask shattered. Tears real. Baby. The reunion fractured the air. Emma frozen. Me bleeding. The stadium emptying like a gutted fish. Voss arrived in the ambulance bay. Barking orders. Lila in cuffs but voluntary. Spilling to IA. Kane's the kingpin, she said, glancing my way. I flipped for survival. But Ray. That was mercy. He begged. Mercy. The debate ceased. As medics stitched me, Emma clung, whispering, "Is she staying?" I had no answer. The step had multiplied, steps into gray, where right and wrong blurred like stadium lights in rain. The ER at Northwestern was a fluorescent hell, beeps and moans a symphony of urban agony. The scent of antiseptic masking deeper rot. They patched my arm, 12 stitches, tetanus shot. A psych eval I dodged with gritted teeth. Emma sat vigil, thumbs scrolling her phone but eyes on me. Lila's ghost between us. Voss paced the hall, phone glued to ear, coordinating the Fed swarm on Kane's empire. She's singing like a canary, he reported, jerking thumb at the interrogation room. Kane's Philly contractor? Dissolved. All right, in acid bath. Rico nets wide. Your tip closed it. My tip, I echoed, flexing bandaged fingers. Truth was collaborative carnage, my bait. Her flip, Emma's unwitting anchor. And Ray?
Closed.
Manslaughter. Self-defense angle, she claims he lunged first.
Dies buying.
With your corroboration. He eyed me sidelong. You walk.
Pay.
Accessory washes with the years. But the girl? Emma. The variable. She stays with me. Visits. Maybe. Supervise. He nodded, clapping my shoulder, rare warmth from the badge. Smart. Family's messy. But it's yours. Discharge papers signed. We cabbed home, Emma silent, head on my good shoulder. The city scrolling by in wet neon streaks. Rain resumed. Biblical. Washing Wrigley's sins down gutters. At the apartment, she finally cracked. Mom. She looked sorry. But why now? After everything? I pulled her close, the couch sagging under our weight. Timing's her game.
Kid.
But regret? That's real. We'll figure it together. She nodded, burrowing in, sleep claiming her quick. I didn't sleep. Dawn crept, gray as guilt. And by 7, the knock, feds, crisp suits, flashing warrants on the duffel cache. Laundering probe, Mr. Whitaker. Mind if we search?
Mind?
Hell yes. But I stepped aside. The stacks unearthed from the closet like buried treasure turned curse. Emma stirred, eyes widening at the circus, agents and booties, snapping photos. Voss trailing apologetic. Routine.
Kid, he said.
Your pop's clean.
Cleanish.
The cash traced to Ray's skim. But Voss's word greased it. Legit inheritance. Long held. They left with statements. Not cuffs. The door clicking shut like a chambered promise. Mid-morning brought Lila, escorted. Orange jumpsuit a cruel couture under the harsh kitchen light. Bail hearing fast-tracked. Voss's pull. She had hours before extradition to Nevada. Emma hovered. Arms crossed. A mirror of my own wariness. Hey, baby girl, Lila said. Voice soft as contraband silk. Grown so much. Emma's chin quivered.
You left.
Blamed Dad. Why? Lila's eyes met mine, plea unspoken. Fear.
Eminência.
I was young. Scared. Thought running fixed it. But it broke us. She knelt, reaching tentative. I'm fixing now. Testimony against Kane, full immunity if I deliver.
Then. Us.
Weekends. Holidays. If you'll have me. The offer hung. Controversial as a plea deal. Felon mom reintegrated. Shadows trailing. Emma glanced my way. Decision hers. Maybe, she whispered. But Dad's first. Always. Lila nodded. Tears carving tracks.
Fair.
Peyton. Thank you. For not flipping sooner. I shrugged. The stitches pulling. Flipped when it counted. For her. The visit ended abrupt. Escort buzzing the door. Hugs exchanged. Promises murmured. Lila vanishing into the hall's maw. Emma collapsed then. Sobs racking. The dam breaking. I held her through it. Rocking like infancy. Whispering nonsense about better tomorrows. Afternoon unfolded quiet. Takeout Thai.
A Hong Kong de craque à TV.
Laughter tentative, but real. By evening, Voss delivered the twist, the gut punch that split the world gray. Kane's cornered, he said over burner. Voice edged. But he lawyered up too. Dropped a bomb. Lila wasn't skimming solo. Ray pulled her in. Yeah, but you.
Pay?
You knew the score. Signed off on the first skim. Your initials on the logs. Forged. Maybe. But her word against yours now.
Me?
Implicated? The room tilted. Emma's giggle from the kitchen, a cruel counterpoint. She flipped again. I breathed. To save her ass. Or truth, Voss countered.
Da är stiging.
You might testify against her. The debate ignited. Victim or villain. I'd buried Ray. Yes, mercy or murder. Covered for love. Or complicity. Lila's confession USB. Now in fed hands. Held my voice too. Incriminating echo. One step had unraveled to this. Courtroom Coliseum. Where we'd battle for Emma's narrative. Night fell. City lights winking like winking witnesses. I tucked Emma in. Her breathing even. Dreams untainted. In the living room, I faced the mirror. 42 lines etched deep. Eyes hollow but hard. The revolver waited. Unloaded now. A prop in the play. No shots left, just choices. Voss's final call. Hearing set. Kane rolls first, full confession. Lila's immunity holds.
But yours.
Gray area. Fight it.
Fight.
For absolution. Or vengeance. I hung up, stepping to the window. Rain sheeting glass like tears unshed. Chicago sprawled below, hustle eternal. Betrayals baked in. Emma stirred, murmuring, "Dad, anchor, compass." "Yeah, kid," I whispered to the dark. "Right here. The ending?"
Nota y dibao.
Lila walked, deal cut. Weekends granted. Shadows lingering. Cain crumbled. Empire dust. His dissolves unearthed in indictments.
Me?
Cleared. Barely, Voss's vouched the fulcrum. But the twist lingers. Was her flip salvation or sabotage? Readers split. Hero dad reclaiming family. Or enabler dragging them deeper. Emma thrives. Cheer scholarships blooming. But her eyes hold questions. Weekends with mom, a minefield of maybes.
Me?
I took that one step, knife to paper. Truth exhumed, and the world shifted.
Tectonic.
Easier? Hell no. But real. And in America's grind, that's the closest to grace we get. Life without the lie, messy, controversial, dark as quarry depths. But ours. Finally.